Greetings. You know, for many years, there's been a lot of things on my mind that I really want to say, but never said it. First off, the political order of this world is crazy because who's mixed in it and the things that's going on that people do not know behind the scenes. I understand what President Trump went through when he was explaining that he didn't do what he did when it was pertaining to what they charged him for. No one believed him because the media coverage or the people was misled to believe that. What broke that down was the political system. The political system playing with the justice system. When you wrongfully accuse someone for a crime, whether they get charged for it or not, you are still persecuted by people that's around you. Understand what I'm saying? So, for 27 years, I was wrongfully accused for something that I did not do. I constantly kept telling them, go back to the evidence. There is no evidence. What are you guys talking about? From that time forward, it was never about keeping a person safe. It was basically more keeping a person enslaved. So this law was put in place in order to make this figure of a perpetrator. Let's just say that, or a bandit or an outlaw or whatever type of means. They labeled California as one of the toughest states on crime, and the prisons industry went crazy. There is more prisons in California than any other country in the world. Imagine that. Any other country in the world. So any state in the United States. So you have to understand what is taking place for certain people that been enslaved. Now, my grandmother was born in Texas. Her mother before her was born in South Carolina. The original line came from North Carolina. They were a part of the Cherokee Nations or the Iroquois Nations. A lot of things don't add up to me through a lot of things that my grandmother and a lot of people passed down from word to mouth. And it doesn't make sense to hide a whole nation of people under changing an identity for existence. For example, you labeling us as Hamites, that we came from Africa. No, we're not. We're Semetic. We're Elamites. We come from a whole nother line of people. So when you're mixing different lines of people, you got to understand which line of people that you're mixing with. We did not come from Africa. Yeah, you brought some Hamites over here, but you tried to integrate them with something that was already integrated back in Babylonia and Elam. See, you can keep playing the game of not telling the truth, but the truth lies right in front of the people if they only look in the Bible. Who is Nimrod's mother? The whole point is, who is Nimrod's mother? She's a Chaldean. She came from Chaldea. She is a Semitic woman. So that means that the line of Ham and the line of Semetics was already mixed in Babylonia through Nimrod. Who is Nimrod's children? How do we know this? Is because we are the Semitic line of people. And we did not come from where they say they came from. We are the original Greeks, the ancient Greeks that they speak about. Yes, we are them. We came from a whole nother land that was once called LAURENTIA. Now Lantum, which is now Italy. Now, you have to understand where the mound builders come from. That's where we come from, because the oldest mound in the world is Watson Break in Louisiana. It's older than the Egyptian pyramids. So who built these pyramids? Who built these mounds? And it was the Semitic people. It was the people way before the time of what you're talking about to deceive these people. So now we understand what's going on. Let's get down to the basics. When you mix law enforcement, now remind you, I ain't supposed to know none of this. I'm just a commoner, as they call me. No, I'm not a commoner, because I know who I am. And I know exactly what line of people that I come from. And you cannot mislabel me in America as my grandmother's birth certificate says colored. My mother says Negro. Mine says African American. That's a compound word. There is no biblical person in the face, never nowhere, named those names. There is no person named Negro in no biblical. These names are Americanized names given to a people. That is hiding someone. Misidentification is not going on with me anymore. It's over with. I'm internationally known as something entirely different that you didn't see coming. Now, let's get to the basics of understanding who is who and what is what. I'm already knowing who the Rothschild family is. I'm already knowing their agenda. That's not my business. I'm a caliph and I stay out of business. I already know what the agenda is for Israel. That's not my business. I stay out of it. In America, I already understand what's going on with Trump and his people and whatever. I mind my own business. What ended up happening is someone crossed me into their business because I was an international human rights ambassador doing business all over the world. Someone crossed my name in it, which I know who it was because the last name pretty much tells the McCaffrey Jackson pretty much tells a long story, a long line of where it came from and why they did what they did and used the military to do it, Reggie. So we're going to go ahead and put it all together in one big knot to let you guys understand what's about to take place. When you use something that never existed from the first place to build something against a person, and that person fight for 27 years worth of his life, within 30 minutes of him getting out of prison, you shoot someone at me to almost kill me. Stab me 30 minutes out of jail en route. There hasn't been no protocol in prison history where you let an inmate that in transportation. That was the whole purpose of me getting on the plane, because they did not want me out of the car on the bus. So they made sure that I got into this transportation that you let me out of to go get something to eat. That's a violation in itself. You put my life in danger from that point forward. We were supposed to go through the drive-through. I never supposed to got out the car, even when you went to go get that pack of cigarettes. You left me where I was unattended for that to happen. But you guys did not take responsibility to that. You just basically swept it under the rug and shot me back to California. When I get to California, what did you do? What did you do from that point forward? And that's not right. That's all I'm saying. So let's get down to the truth of the matter. When women use fake allegations against a man, the first thing that goes to mind is what's going to take place. Now, in this world that we live in, we got to understand what was taking place. And a lot of things was taking place during a time. It's a time when Hillary Clinton came into the office where the women was on one. And now you just had this last past take with Kamala Harris. And then how that take, you got to understand that women feminism, racism is real. They use feminine racism. And it's not just racism of white and black and nigger and hunky or whatever you want to call it. It's basically racism within male and female genders. And these females who mess with females, they act like men. They do not act like a normal female that you would see. Why would you slap that female? No, these are women that look like men, act like men, dress like men, work like men, and do things like men. They will hit you or fight you like men. They're not like that. But the ones that use this authority, we call it authority now, to just basically make up a crime. I got this one, as you can see, red-handed. I just wanted to make sure that you guys see this one, not, the other two. One was in Arkansas, one was in Texas, in the same courtroom that we're going into now. This is what I'm talking about, of abusing the system for your own feminine needs, to serve your purpose, to do some of the evilest acts to a man that you can ever do. Use your feminism against a man. Now, I don't understand that, but now I understand it, to where it's coming from and why it's being done, and why the slavery is being taken place, and why everything is justified as being just right when it's wrong. So, as you look at my front yard, the reason why my yard is not cut is because everything that's out there is medicine, including what you see. I'm not going to mess with it right now, because I always have, every summer, is called East Texas Alchemy. And what I do is I show people how to heal themselves by using natural plants. These ones that's in my front yard cures cancer. It cures a lot of different things. So I know this because I know these properties, because I'm an alchemist now, or a shaman, or whatever you want to call me to be. I don't understand how 1 minute I'm talking to dukes, barons, princes, and then all of a sudden, pow, they disappear. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, what's going on? What's the problem? But no one wants to tell me the problem. They want to sit and they want to look. So evidently, I must be the problem. So let's get to the bottom of the problem, since, you want to just kind of like push me off and think that I'm not sovereign enough for you to be set in your eyes, but I'm under the same laws that you are up under. Let's just say that. How do you know me? That's number one. Number two is, did we ever speak to each other, and what did we speak about? Okay. 3. When we talking about international security, there ain't no way in the world that the Khalifian culture, let's just say that, is not protecting America. Period, point blank. I don't want to hear nothing about this, domestic, or anything you're talking about. That's just propaganda for you to try to fuel your fire against us. But there is no evidence against this person right here. And we go way further back than what you're talking about. What you just did is just stepped into something that been going on a long time before you even got involved. So what you're saying now, what you're doing now is you're just caught like a rat with a finger in the whole trap. Period. It was already going on before I even met you. How about that? So what did you do? Now you're acting like, well, if he said, I know everything, and everything with a whole lot of proof to it, because when you're dealing with things like that, knowing that I started the Khalifa Knights, my Knights is in your circle. I started them. They are in your circle right now, telling each other do not underestimate how the light shines brighter than what you actually see. And for you to just sit there and allow darkness, so much darkness, to take over this world, it's never going to set the balance. I have always taught non-dualism. And this is what I was telling you from the beginning when I was teaching you guys. It has to be a balance in this world. It's not a balance. It's over. One is teeter-tottering the other, and it's not a balance. That's why everything is crazy. There is no balance. Who is the ones that's not making it stable enough for this balance? It's someone that's pushing a movement so strong that they have the nerve to even call themselves Semites. Are you crazy? You will not be called a Semite or a Hebrew Semite. I don't understand where you thinking the line of what you trying to mix with Egypt over there is not the line that you're not mixing with the ones of biblical Ur and biblical Egypt way before your time. And that biblical Egypt that we talking about where Nimrod's kingdoms was. And then the other kingdoms that was mixed in, because the Chaldeans and the Hamites was already dealing with each other. from the beginning. This is back in Babylonia. So how is you going to sit here and allow yourself to dictate a history that does not exist? It doesn't. You just start learning how to sell way later on down the line. The Chinese were selling before you. Who were they? They were the ancient Chinese people, were the Elamites, the Semites. You got the whole world thinking that that's wrong. The biblical Rome that they're talking about? I don't think so.